Hi, this is Karen with LifeFourPointZero. We are in northern Norway, near Kristiansund, and heading further north.
Left Kristiansund. We had paid for tonight's dock, but the weather was good, and our friends Joey and Tony got on board, and we're all ready to go. So we're taking off and doing a short little sail over to an anchorage. It's beautiful, little islands, scurries, and it's a lovely evening, chilly, but sunny and clear with a very gradual breeze. Just got a little further to go here before we furl the sails and anchor. Go in right behind, inside this area over there. Very nice scenery, good light. I love this time of the day. Last hour or so, an hour or two of daylight. It's beautiful.
Before we get into this episode's sailing destinations, we have to share yesterday's land-based excursion to nearby Kvernes Stave Church, the second Stave Church we have been fortunate enough to see this summer. You might be wondering what a Stave Church is. Stave is Old Norse for pole and refers to the distinctive building tradition in which poles are placed in frames that rest on stones. Because poles don't go into the ground, wood decomposition is slowed significantly, and that is why some of these wonderful churches exist today. Let's step inside the church and listen to our tour guide.
In German is a Stave. That is the name, Stave Church.
Okay, yeah. So that's
yeah.
what it's in.
Usually, then was in the beginning time, it was only in the corners. So four corners, you have one of these staves in the ground.
In the ground.
And these four staves hold all the building, everything, the roof and everything. So that is a big difference. But this way to build, you cannot build big because the static was not great enough. Yeah. And so, we're thinking, oh, we will build a little bit bigger. We have in the region here in Magerøya, we have your own style. This it's a type Møre style, and this is, you see it in the outside. So you have seen the staves and the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is typical for this type of building. And you have not only the staves in the corners, you have them also here.
So,
in the middle.
were those supports original?
Yeah.
Those supports are part of the original construction. Interesting. Okay.
Also, you have more stuffs inside the walls.
Yeah.
And then especially in our church, we have also in the middle of the room. And so this way you can build a little bit bigger. Yes. But in the time for the Reformation, there was over 1,000 of staff churches in Norway. Wow. But after the Reformation, the churches was get a little bit more money and was a little bit richer, and then will build them in the rest of Europe, big stones. And so they begin to forget the staff churches. And so now today we have only 28 original staff churches.
It is believed that at one point there were between 1,300 and 2,000 stave churches in Norway. As I enjoyed the incredible detail around me, the guide was explaining that the males would sit on the south side of the church and the wives and children would sit on the north side. He also explained that the closer a seating compartment was to the altar or the front of the church, the wealthier the person was who owned the seat. Recent scientific testing indicated this church was built around 1631 instead of in the 1300s like was previously thought. This makes Kvernes Stave Church unique in that it is the only one that was built in the Middle Ages and not in the medieval 11, 12, and 1300s. This church has the distinction of being the youngest of the remaining stave churches in Norway. You'll notice that many of the stave churches are black, like the Hopperstad Stave Church we visited several weeks ago in the town of Vik in the Sognefjorden. The black color comes from the tar that is used to coat the exterior to protect against deterioration. Teams of preservationists have gone to great lengths to follow traditional methods of creating the proper pine tar in order to achieve the best protection for the wood structure. This process includes burning the tar in a specific and laborious way. When we walked around the Hopperstad Stave Church, we could smell the burnt tar even though we were there during the pouring rain, and we were only able to examine the exterior. Look how thick the coating is on this wood. Okay, time to get back on the boat. We head offshore to the remote and beautiful island of Veiholmen, which is part of an extensive archipelago off of the island of Smøla. Here's the chart showing the tricky entrance. We nervously navigate the narrow channel into the inner harbor, and as we precariously dock in this tiny, crowded space, it became apparent that an island-wide event was taking place in the town center, which was a mere couple feet from us.
Nå ser det ut som bryggen ferdig. Det ser ut som bryggen ferdig. Dette siste året bryggen stilla på småbåtfestival, tror jeg. Jeg tror jeg skal få hvile seg nå. Veien! Veien! Kom igjen, Veien! Kom igjen, bryggen!
Viking boat races to close out the summer vacation season, complete with a costume contest and lots of laughter and camaraderie. If only we understood Norwegian.
Et flott bevis, et flott par. Det eneste paret som ikke var gift, men som samarbeidet best.
We're in the harbor at Veiholmen, and it is just about low tide. And you can see we are tied up against this pier here. When we came in, the railing, the deck of our boat was above this railing. So it's definitely a good 2-meter tide. We're not quite at low yet. But the entrance into here was just so teeny. How tiny? This drone flight shows our path in. And there's Sea Rose. We enjoyed a beautiful day and a half here before being encouraged by a change in weather to move along. The forecast called for very high winds, and we were starting to feel them building. There's Sea Rose on the dock down there. We're waiting for the high tide. We're going to leave in a couple hours and head down this incredibly narrow channel to turn the corner right here. Hopefully not go plowing into that Nekton diving boat. Then we head down another skinny part of the channel and then further out to sea. We would exit out of the archipelago where this drone flight goes, in the opposite direction from our entry once we're out of the inner harbor. As the tide rose, the winds were getting quite strong. careful planning was required to release all of our lines and head out with all the right people on board. After leaving Veiholmen, we tried to keep an upbeat attitude as we endured a couple really rainy days. When we settled onto the dock on the island of Magerøya, we were ready to get off the boat. We're on the island of Magerøya, out for a little walk on a rainy day with our fall weather gear on. Rains do make the colors vibrant, and what a great island. Apparently, this is a summer camp of sorts that we were visiting post-season. We told the caretaker here that we'd be really interested in getting off the boat because we were getting a little stir-crazy with all the rain. And then we just realized there's a fire started, and he said, yeah, there's like a living room place with a fireplace. So I think he started the fire for us after our walk. That would be nice. Appetizers, and then we are making a collective dinner with him because it's after season. He started a nice fire in this cute little old wood stove. So we're making a dinner together. Johannes, we're bringing some things, helping contribute to something that might be interesting to him because he's been eating certain kinds of foods just to work through the food that was here. But yeah, so we're definitely enjoying ourselves. It's making lemonade out of lemon because we were getting soggy with all the rain. What a perfect way to spend a rainy afternoon and evening. Great friends, a wonderful setting, and a delicious shared meal. Thanks, Johannes, for your kindness and hospitality. Time for us to head happily back to Sea Rose for a good night's sleep. Thanks for joining us as we live our Life 4.0, one anchorage at a time. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you enjoy our content, and we always love getting your comments, so let us know what you think. Don't miss our next episode as we cross into the Arctic Circle and hike to a stunning glacier.